Get your hype claws out, Valley Club, and let the excitement begin. It is the moment you've been waiting for. Professor X finally confirmed as coming to Marvel Strike Force in early 2025. In this video, we got all the latest details of what you can expect from this character, how he's released, and all the other details that we can share right now. So if you're ready for all of that and more, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go slash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I'm ValleyFlyin, and I hope you're as hyped as I am for Professor X coming to Marvel Strike Force. I thought this day would never come. I thought the devs were against building Professor X in the game, but it is confirmed he is coming in early 2025. We're discussing the details in this video, but before we get to all that, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week, reveal videos like this, gameplay videos, news videos, everything up your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But now let's talk about the upcoming age in Marvel Strike Force, the Age of X. It's going to be a new year-long story that connects all the events in Marvel Strike Force over the next year. For the next major release character, going to be Professor Xavier, a new Tier 0 character. And like I said, his release is going to be early 2025. And what the devs did say, in this case, Age of X, is going to be the glue that connects upcoming content, character choices for the next year. And it's not going to be like the Age of Apocalypse. There were some good things about the Age of Apocalypse, but I think the bad thing was everybody needed to build the same exact team, put the same gear on them. So the meta was in a bad place because everybody had the same team and people like agency. They wanted to build the characters that they wanted. On that, everything will be directly related to X-Men. The majority of the characters and events building up to Professor X's release are directly tied to the Marvel universe spanning this year-long story. Now, what they're going to address is who's the most powerful mutant on Earth. Obviously, that is going to be Professor X, but this is the version that we're getting in the game. So the first week of April is going to be releasing the first Age of X event, a mini event campaign, rewards tuned to new and returning players. So new players, mid-game players, end game players will get these rewards and can start to put on that chase for Professor X. And this event, no requirements, sets up the story leading directly into the next showcase event and the next year-long story to come. And the reason they say they're releasing all this information so early, because technically, as of me recording this, Dark Dimension 7 is not even in the game yet. Releasing this early is because they want people to get the next chase. They know some players are going to get through Dark Dimension 7 very, very quickly, and they want to have the next chase available for the end game players as they unlock Mephisto. It's one of the problems with after unlocking Apocalypse for the Age of Apocalypse is that they had no chase after that. There was nothing announced after that. So there was a lot of players that quit after they unlocked Apocalypse. So that's why they're announcing this so early. But they did learn from some of the lessons. Here's the 2023 preview from last year. If we scroll down to what they say about Dark Dimension 7 and some of the agency returning, Dark Dimension 7, it is back. There was a lot of fun with the Scourges and Sagas last year. I do agree. There was some fun with that stuff. I did like that year-long chase. The community expressed a longing for the annual excitement around adventure that is Dark Dimension. So Dark Dimension is staying. There will be another Dark Dimension coming in addition to this Age of X as well. Also, what was missed was the ability to have more agency with the team compositions, which led to more personal customization and riveting theory crafting. Now, during the year-long chase for Xavier, legendaries and other teams will be connected to the overall story of Age of X, but they aren't designed to be combined into one Apex team like the Horseman was. And they also said that they're not going to be all mutants. So kind of like we got Rogue and Archangel for Apocalypse, and then Red Hulk, Morgan Le Fay weren't mutants. They kind of give a break from some of the mutant gear. They said there's not going to be mutant after mutant after mutant as far as the releases for this. So hopefully we get some break from the mutant gear that I'm fearing for this. They said that Professor X is going to be a true plug-and-play character, and you will have the opportunity to theory craft with this character, and they do want to get more player agency back. He will have the X-Men tag, and Age of X is a framework to connect all the events together narratively. So kind of like the month-long milestone events where they have different events during the month. The events itself aren't related, but they're all related to that overarching month-long milestone event. That's kind of what they're going with this Age of X here. And one of the biggest questions obviously was the unlock requirements for Professor Xavier. How are we going to get this character? Well, because the chase is going to end sometime in 2025, I personally don't think they have all the unlock requirements figured out yet, so they haven't announced that to us yet. But as soon as they announce that to us, I will announce that to you guys. So stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for all the latest information. And as far as this character from a development standpoint, this is some of the character models that they had for Professor Xavier. Looking at character model 1, this is the model that they eventually chose, but this has a unique helmet. They did like this because nobody else had that helmet. Number 2 is a classic look, very iconic, but it's a business suit. And what the devs thought is that it might become boring after a while, especially in a fighting game, having someone in a suit. As far as looks 3 and 4, both of them they liked, but the devs said it was very similar to some other X-Men characters, especially Sunspot. And they didn't want newer players to be confused at the similar looks of these characters. And number 5 is a cool space-looking version, very futuristic. But they said that it didn't really match the tactic cool look of the rest of the Marvel Strike Force characters. That's one thing that they've had since the inception of Marvel Strike Force. Not really the Marvel Comics version, not really the MCU version, but their own unique take on these characters in a tactic cool version. So like tactical stuff, but cool. That's kind of their glossary for that. So this is the version that they ultimately decided on. There's some different textures that they could apply to this character, some helmet textures, some clothing textures, and a helmet lens is like reflective glass. That's what's going to be on this X here. Some more concept art here. One thing that they did is they gave him these racing stripes, and the reason for that is they said that if it was just black, even with different shades of black, walking around, this character would look like a shadow. They also wanted to focus in the back because, as you know, when you're looking at your own team, you're looking at the back of those characters. So they wanted to make sure that they had some of these blue racing stripes so that it wouldn't just look like a big shadow. And once Professor X is fully rendered, this is what this character is going to look like with all the textures, the reflective glass on the X, the metallic shades on the helmet, the different shades of black for his costume, and his the blue racing stripes so he doesn't look like a big shadow. Well, and I'm glad that they figured out this character. I know for a while they wanted to get Professor X in the game. However, most of the character models and the hitboxes that we talked about all those months back, it was a big problem. So what they did, instead of doing something like with Rocket or Cosmo, they got this full human-looking character without the wheelchair. I know some people wanted the wheelchair version in the game, or with the tech of the game. This is the version that we're getting. And I do like this version. I think this is a very nice version. What they also said is all those textures that we saw on that last screen, and they put it onto one of the models that are already in the game. So perhaps Cyclops or something. They just put it over, they change a few things from the helmet, and that is how we get a new character in the game. And that's what we know about Professor X right now. Obviously, there's a lot more information that we don't know, so stay tuned for this channel. We'll announce anything that the devs give us so that you guys can be prepared as soon as possible. I do know that there were some good things about the Age of Apocalypse. There were some bad things as well. Building the same characters, they do realize that that was a bad thing. It did make a bad place in the meta. So hopefully they've looked forward at all these things, planned ahead so that this is just like a bonus character that we get for doing all these daily things. I'm looking forward to this character. Hopefully all the negatives from Age of Apocalypse is gone and all the positives are kept. Hopefully this video did provide you some value, and if it did, leave it a like. It's free for you and it tremendously helps the channel. And if you want to check out what you need to do to win in Arena right now, beating all these different meta defenses, check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.